Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30. Time to wrap it up for today. And it looks to me like we have more of a holding day than anything else. This number came out this morning, the PPI. Big surprise to the upside. At least for the market, the initial reaction was way down. I thought we were going to have some follow through on that. It turned out to be not the case. They just ran it below that 60 level for a bit, retraced it, and since then it has been kind of grinding in this range going into the afternoon. So I would just start off range bound. I would stay, keep the bias to the upside, watching this level 64.60. If that comes out, I would be looking for that retracement trade. But at this point, they have not extended today, so this ending gets us into stage two. And the profile is move out of the middle. And one more day, and then we'll be in stage three. So we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. But right now, that's what we're looking at. Going into tomorrow's trading, we have a ton of news coming out tomorrow, by the way. So maybe at 8:30, get retail sales, Empire State, import-export prices, industrial production at 9:15, business inventories, consumer sentiment at 10. So 8:30, 9:15, and 10, we have news for tomorrow. Busy morning. Retail sales especially is going to be interesting. But at this point, I would just say we are starting off range bound. I would stay with the bias to the upside. This has not this today is just more or less a holding day. And the good news is that even with that PPI print, market did not start a sell-off process. So not yet, at least. Now, this could also be interpreted as a retest failure. So if this 2 days haven't been able to extend, we could now, if it starts heading lower by tomorrow, that would be a retest failure. And we may want to stay on the short side a bit more aggressively or hop on the short side. I'm still watching that 64.60 is going to be the level I'm paying attention to. On the NASDAQ and the bonds, so the bond market repriced itself pretty hard on the move to the downside, all the way down here to that the tractor at the 114.20. So price is down, yields up, and that's where we are on the bond market. It's kind of stalled there after that, didn't go anywhere. So it moved pretty good all the way down, and then that's stalled. So I would start off with a slight bias to the downside, given this. If this starts retracing this single print and trade above that 115.03, that ledge, that just may level down there, I would take off the short bias. So that ledge is going to be the one to pay attention to, right there at 115.03. Now, NASDAQ, I did a couple of trades on the NASDAQ. The first one was as a flat out loser. I showed you that one. I got, they see that I got high ticked on that fucker. And that's to see it go all the way down there. It's like after the effects. Oh man, that was like frustrating. But I managed not to try to get long against this pullback. So saved myself another embarrassment. The second time up here, I tried a short trade again. Faded too much heat, got out of it. This one it went lower, but it would not have worked no matter what I did because this was first rotation down. It would have been a break-even trade. This guy would have shaken me out, and if I managed to stay in it there, that guy would have shaken me out. So no matter what I would have done here, would have been a shakeout trade. So I just scratched this trade when it came down, given that I had to fade too much heat. So. I'm down 43 and two trades on that one. That first trade did not work out well. In fact, the fact that it was it was right, uh, the correct thing, the correct thought process, but just the execution of it and the trade location wasn't good enough for it to stick. And that happens, and that's kind of what it is. So that's trading for you guys. And then finally, oil and gold. Gold is kind of drifting to the downside. We're down here testing the 78 80s, but so far it's holding. And I would say that at this point we are definitely looking at the rotation back up again. Well, they'll give it a little bit more room than that, I think. It's if they trade up above this area, if they can close above this area here, that 33.90s, I would be back range bound. If it closes below it, I would look for a retest to that low, maybe lower in the overnight. So that's a caveat right there. But it looks to me like a retest held, and so far we have a pretty good shot at this one trading back up again. But you kind of have to clear that area, the 33.90s first. And then oil slowly drifting back up again. Interesting. So oil prices heading higher. Everything's setting up for this meeting with Putin tomorrow. It's going to be it's going to be one of the big things happening. So we'll see market's going to be choppy and react to it, I'm sure, as things come out. But we'll see how that whole thing shakes out. I would think geopolitically, if it's a bad scenario, the gold and oil would react, commodity would react, but not sure the stock market would do anything specific. So At this point, I would stay. I would look. I would stay on the long side, see if they can retrace this further on oil. So they still level 63.70. If they're above that, we took off the long bias or the short bias, and now we're looking at potential moves higher. So I have to wait for it to develop. And oil in the bigger picture, they're back up to this little attractor. If they cross above that 64 level, yeah, bets are off. We're heading back up in this upper range again. That would not be a great sign. All right, so there we have it. So oil and gold, oil slight bias to the upside, gold slight bias to the downside. At this point, starting at the on the ES. On the ES, same story there, both range bound to get started, and then we'll see if they can't extend and keep going. This could be the retest failure day, and then we'll see a potential weakness tomorrow. There's a few things going on. A lot of news coming out tomorrow. We have a potential retest failure setting up technically, and then we also have the Putin meeting, which potentially could throw some cold water on the whole market. So a few things going on that one, but as I said, I would as long as the ES as they stay above the 64.60s, I would stay on the long side of this. But you can see here, the retest, 2 days, they didn't extend to the upside, so we're not in stage one. Potential retest failure, and if they start heading lower from here, could be a nice retest failure trade setting up. And we have the same kind of setup on the Nasdaq too. So it is going to be one interesting day tomorrow, that's for sure. So, but I'm going to wrap it up here. So, yes, those two trades on the Nasdaq, one loser, one small winner or scratch, and some I was down 47 on that. So that's what I got so far. Alrighty, guys, we'll see you back in the morning. Have a good evening. Later.